Leah, a woman who lives in Benin City. Her eyes are very sharp enough to read a man's weakness before he opens his mouth. Men loved her, women feared her, and Leah enjoyed both. At 29, she had become famous in secret circle for something nobody said loudly during the day, but everyone discussed about it during the night. Leah slept with married men, not once, not twice, consistently. She moved through relationships like a traveler passing through cities, never staying long enough to build a home, only long enough to leave destruction behind. So women cried because of her, some fought because of her, some marriages broke because of her. Yet Leah never cared. To her, men were toys, temporary entertainment. She worked at a luxurious fashion store in GRA, where wealthy businessmen, politicians, contractors, and married executives frequently came to shop. Leah understood men better than many psychologists did. She knew the lonely ones, the frustrated ones, the bored husband, the ones tired of routine, the ones who wanted adventure. She gave them exactly what they wanted. Then she disappeared before responsibility arrived. At first, it had started innocently years ago after her painful breakup with her university boyfriend, Dan. Dan had promised marriage, promised loyalty, promised forever. Then one day, Leah found him in another woman's apartment. She remembered the sting in her heart that day, the humiliation, the way her heart seems to collapse inside her. After that heartbreak, something hardened inside her chest. She stopped believing in love, stopped believing in royalty, stopped believing in commitment. If men can cheat, she once told her best friend Anita while sipping wine at the rooftop lounge, then they deserve whatever they get. From that moment, Leah became dangerous. She learned how to smile without attachment, how to kiss without emotion, how to live before sunrise. Some men spent fortune on her: phones, jewelries, designer bags, weekend vacations in Lagos, expensive perfume imported from Paris. But Leah's favorite reward was power. The power of knowing she could take any man she wanted, and often she did. While relaxing in her apartment, her phone buzzed violently. Unknown number. She rolled her eyes before answering. "Hello, who is this?" A woman's furious voice exploded through the speaker. "Stay away from my husband." Leah sighed lazily. "Which husband? Be specific. You shameless prostitutes." Leah laughed softly. "You women should learn to hold your husband instead of calling me. You think this is funny? I will destroy you." "Get in line," Leah replied coldly and hung up. She tossed the phone aside carelessly and continued painting her nails. Threat calls had become normal. Some wife insulted her, some begged her, some cried, others sent long emotional messages at midnight, but Leah ignored all of them. Deep down, she believed none of them could touch her. She believed she was untouchable, and that belief could ruin her life. Far across town lived a man named Victor Benson. Victor was 28 years old, handsome, wealthy, and hopefully addicted to women. He owned a successful automobile company and carried himself with the confidence of a man used to getting whatever he wanted. Women surrounded him naturally, but there was one problem. Victor was married. His wife, Oge Benson, has endured his cheating for years. Oge was beautiful in a quiet way, slim, intelligent, calm, and deeply respected in church circles. She had married Victor when she was 24, believing love could tame any man. She had been wrong. Victor cheated constantly. Secret girlfriends, hotel meetings, late night lies, perfume scents on shirts, strange lipstick stains, excuses after excuses. Oge cried countless nights in silence. Still, she stayed for their two children. She prayed for him, fasted for him, forgave him repeatedly, but Victor only became worse. His friend even joked about him openly. "Victor can chase anything wearing skirts," they laughed. And sadly, it was true. One Friday evening, Victor visited an expensive restaurant called the Golden Terrace after a business meeting. Soft piano music floated through the air while waiters moved elegantly between tables. That was where he first saw Leah. She sat alone near the window in a red dress that hugged her body perfectly. One leg crossed over the other, wine glass in hand. Victor stayed shamelessly. Leah noticed immediately their eyes met. And that was enough. Victor smiled. Leah smiled back. The game had begun. Minutes later, Victor walked confidently to her table. Beautiful woman shouldn't drink alone. Leah smiled. A married man shouldn't flirt openly. Victor laughed loudly. I like honest women. I like dangerous men. Leah replied. That sentence sealed everything. Within 30 minutes, they exchanged numbers. Within 2 hours, Victor was imagining her in his bed. And within 3 days, they became lovers. Their affair burned quietly and recklessly. Victor rented luxury hotel suites for her, bought her gold jewelries, sent her money consistently. He became obsessed. Unlike other women, Leah challenged him. She never acted emotionally attached, never begged for attention, never demanded commitment. That drove Victor crazy. For the first time in years, he was chasing instead of being chased. Oge noticed changes immediately. Victor became secretive, smiling at his phone, taking calls outside, sneaking into the bedroom late at night. Around 1:30 a.m., Oge woke up and realized Victor was no longer beside her. She quietly stepped out of bed. The house was dark. Then she heard the whispers downstairs. Victor stood near the kitchen door, speaking softly on the phone. I miss you, he whispered. Oge froze in a moment. Her chest tightened painfully. Tomorrow night, Victor continued quietly. Same hotel. Oge's fingers trembled. Tears gathered instantly in her eyes. But this time, something inside her changed. She was tired. Tired of crying. Tired of forgiving. Tired of the humiliation. And for the first time in many years, Oge decided to fight back. The next evening arrived with heavy clouds hanging over the city. Victor prepared carefully. He sprayed expensive perfume, wore fitted black jeans, checked himself repeatedly in the mirror. Oge pretended not to notice, but inside her, anger burnt like wildfire. Victor left the house around 8 p.m. Oge waited 10 minutes before following him quietly in her car. Her heartbeat pounded violently. Her palms sweated against the steering wheel. Part of her hoped she was wrong. Part of her prayed this was all misunderstanding. But deep down, she already knew. Victor drove directly to Royal Crescent Hotel, one of the most expensive hotels in town. Oge parked at a distance and watched. Then she saw her, Leah, stepping elegantly from a taxi in a short black dress. Victor rushed towards her immediately, smiling like a teenager. He kissed her openly before leading her inside. Oge felt her world collapse. For several seconds, she couldn't breathe. The humiliation was unbearable. But then, rage replaced pain. Pure rage. She marched into the hotel lobby like a storm. The receptionist attended, stopping her politely. Ma'am, you can't. Move aside. The force in her voice shocked everyone. Luckily for her, Victor has foolishly booked the suites using his real name, room 307. Oge stormed upstairs. Her entire body shook violently. When she reached the door, she heard laughter inside. Victor's laughter, Leah's laughter. That sound shattered the last piece of patience remaining in her soul. She banged the door furiously. Silence inside the room. Then movement inside. Victor opened the door halfway. The moment he saw Oge, his face drained completely. Oge! A hot slap landed on his face. The sound echoed through the corridor. You disgusting animal, move aside! Leah appeared behind him wearing only bra and panties. Her makeup slightly smeared, hair messy. The sight nearly drove Oge insane. Without hesitation, Oge grabbed Leah fiercely. What are you doing? Leah screamed. You destroy people's home and free untouchable. Chaos erupted instantly inside the room. Victor tried separating them, but Oge was beyond control. She dragged Leah by the arm into the hallway. While hotel guests opened doors curiously, people began recording immediately with their phones. Victor panicked. Oge, stop! Stop this! But Oge no longer. Years of humiliation exploded all at once. She grabbed Victor with her right hand, Leah with her left. Victor wore only singlet and boxers. Leah wore only panties and bra. And like a woman possessed by fury, Oge dragged both of them downstairs through the hotel lobby. Everybody stared. Some laughed, some gasped. Phones recorded every second. Hotel workers whispered in disbelief. Leah struggled desperately. "Leave me," Oge tightened her grip. "Today the world will see you." Outside the hotel, a crowd gathered rapidly. People shouted. Cars slowed down. Someone recognized Leah immediately. "Isn't that Leah?" Another woman screamed angrily from the crowd. "That's the girl sleeping with married men." Then another voice. "She nearly destroyed my marriage too." Within minutes, the video spread online. Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. People shared the clips endlessly. Leah's face became the center of public disgrace overnight, and the nightmare was only beginning. By morning, Leah could not step outside her apartment. Her phone exploded non-stop with calls, insults, and notifications. Thousands of people had watched the video. People mock her mercilessly online. "This is what she deserves. Homebreaker exposed." Ha 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 ha. Finally, married men should fear women like this. Some women even posted angry testimonies about Leah. One claimed Leah dated her husband for 6 months. Another said Leah collected money from her fiancé. A third woman uploaded screenshots of threatening arguments they once had with her. Suddenly, years of hidden scandals surfaced publicly. Leah sat on her bed staring blankly on her phone. For the first time in years, she felt fear. Real fear. Outside, neighbors whisper whenever she passed. At work, customers stared at her strangely. By afternoon, her boss called her into the office. A middle-aged woman named Mrs. Coleman adjusted her glasses all comfortably. "Leah, this situation is damaging the company image." Leah swallowed hard. "You are firing me." Mrs. Coleman sat silently. "Please understand." Leah walked out silently, carrying a small box of belongings. Humiliation burned through her chest. But even worse, Victor stopped calling. The same man who promises heaven suddenly disappeared. Oge, meanwhile, returned home emotionally exhausted. She had embarrassed her husband publicly. Yet, strangely, she felt no joy, only emptiness. Victor avoided her eyes for days. The children sensed tension immediately. Silence filled the house like smoke. Then one evening, Victor finally spoke. "You humiliated me." Oge stared at him in disbelief. "I humiliate you?" Victor looked away. "You could have handled this privately." Oge laughed bitterly. "Privately? Like all the years you embarrassed me privately." Victor said nothing. Because deep down, he knew she was right. Some weeks passed. Leah's life softly collapsed. Men stopped calling. Married men who once chased her vanished completely. Nobody wanted public scandal attached to their name. Her savings began finishing quickly. Rent piled up. Depression settled heavily over her life. Leah sat near her window watching people hurry through flooded streets. For the first time in her life, she felt completely alone. No real friends, no family nearby, no genuine love, only memories of temporary pressure and destruction. Then unexpectedly, her phone rang. Unknown number. She answered weakly. "Hello?" A calm female voice replied. "It's Oge." Leah froze. Silence followed. Then Oge spoke again. "I am not calling to insult you." Leah remained silent. "I just want to ask you something." Oge continued. Was it worth it? That question pierced Leah deeply. For several seconds she couldn't answer. Because honestly, she didn't know anymore. After the call ended, Leah cried for hours. Not because of public shame, not because of lost reputation, but because she suddenly realized how empty her life truly was. All the men, all the affair, all the excitement, none of it had given her peace. She remembered the younger version of herself before heartbreak changed her, before bitterness hardened her heart, before she started hurting others to punish men generally. And for the first time, Leah hated the woman she had become. Victor believed the scandal would eventually fade, but he underestimated public judgment. Business partners started distancing themselves. Church members whispered openly. Friends mocked him secretly behind his back. Even his children suffered embarrassment in school after classmates saw the viral video. Late one evening, his son asked quietly, "Daddy, why were you outside wearing only boxers?" Victor nearly broke down. That moment destroyed him emotionally more than the scandal itself. He finally saw the damage his action caused beyond himself. Oge had stopped fighting, stopped shouting, stopped crying. And strangely, that silence frightened Victor more than anger. One night he entered their bedroom carefully. "Oge," she continued reading without looking up. "I am sorry, so sorry." No response. Victor sat quietly. "I know I destroyed things." Oge finally looked at him. "You didn't destroy things overnight, Victor. You destroyed them little by little for years." Tears filled Victor's eyes. For the first time in his life, he truly felt ashamed. Months later, life slowly changed. Leah moved away from the city, far from gossip, far from scandal, far from ghosts of her past. She rented a small apartment in another town and started working at a bookstore. A simple life, quiet life. Sometimes customers recognized her from the viral video, but eventually the noise faded. Leah found herself reading a quote while arranging books. Pain does not justify becoming pain to others. She stared at those words for a long time, then quietly closed the book because those words describe her perfectly. Meanwhile, Victor worked desperately to repair his family. It wasn't easy. Trust once broken healed slowly, very slowly. But Oge saw genuine change for the first time. Victor stopped hiding phones, stopped late night disappearance, stopped reckless behavior. And as for Leah, she eventually learned the hardest lesson of all. Attention is not love. Desire is not respect, and beauty without character can destroy a life forever. The woman who once believed she was untouchable has finally met her match. Not in Oge's anger, not in public disgrace, but in the painful realization that every reckless choice eventually demands payment. The cost is your entire life, forever. Thank you very much for watching Informal African Tales. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more interesting stories.